Good morning, everyone. This is Jodie Siemens from Taking Perspective. I am just making sure that we are live everywhere. I have my comments box up, both on my profile and in the Organisational Secrets for Empowered Women's group. Okay, looks like we're up and running. All right, so how is everyone on this Friday morning? For those of you on Facebook who don't know who I am, my name's Jodie Siemens. I'm a lifestyle accountability and mindset coach. I help busy professional women stop running flat out in circles. Obviously not limited to, I do work with men, but basically I help people get organised in their professional and private lives. I have a firm belief that how we do anything is how we do everything. So just bringing some structure and organisation into certain aspects of your life will certainly roll over into other aspects of your life also. All right, so thank you for those who registered for the webinar today on how is your focus and what are you focusing on. For those who registered and did not make it, you will receive this copy of this webinar in your inbox, so look out for that this afternoon. For those of you who are on Facebook watching on my profile, you can still register and get the and come on and see the PowerPoint presentation via Zoom, or you can register and receive it in your email box and watch this later. Okay, so we will start. So today our topic is how's your focus and what are you focusing on? And what we're going to do is we're going to discuss the topics of what factors are affecting your concentration, some of the conditions related to whether or not you can concentrate, because that's quite a big topic, and some tips on how to improve your concentration. So firstly, we're going to start off with what factors affect your concentration. So by concentration, we mean it's one's direct ability to direct one's attention following one's will. So that's the definition of what concentration is. So what factors affect your concentration? So concentration means to be able to control your attention in any given time. Okay, to concentrate is to exclude or not pay attention to every other unrelated thought, idea, feeling, or sensation. Okay, so to not pay attention to, for example, numbers, beeps, indicators that you have a message on, whether it be Facebook or Instagram, whatever your socials might be. You know, who's checking on who's following you, or, you know, who's connected with you. All these things seem to be an issue in drawing away our concentration at any given time. All right. So Tim Ferriss says, what you don't do determines what you can do. So for those of you who've never heard of Tim Ferriss, he's an American entrepreneur. He's an investor, bestseller author, and according to Apple Podcasting, he has won that 3 years running and is a lifestyle guru. So again, he says, what you don't do determines what you can do. Okay, the type of factors that can affect your concentration. So our daily routine is often dominated by things in regards to switching in and out of our mobile phones and our computers. We often get an influx of messages. You know, we're all over WhatsApp, emails, Telegram. There's dozens of apps that keep beeping on our phones. We're constantly in search of information to, you know, solve our daily problems and get our work done. We're constantly Googling, what does that mean? Or how can we do that? Or Even I found myself Googling a PDF for my washing machine because I couldn't find that. So that's what I mean by, we're constantly in search of information. So we're all guilty of it to a degree. So concentration can be affected from both an internal and external environmental factors. So some of the things that might be affecting your concentration at any given time is the fact that we are constantly in a mode of information processing. So we're constantly trying to assess the useful information that's coming in. We're trying to work out, is that information sufficient for what we need? Or is it meaningless to us? So our brain's in constant mode. The brain only takes in so much information at any given time. And if this information is overloading us, it can really impair what is required of us to make the best possible decisions. And we can and do get quite overwhelmed by that. Another one we've got is many of us don't get enough sleep. So this lowers our ability to stay alert. Excuse me, it slows down our thought processes and reduces our ability to concentrate overall. So this can affect our ability in many ways, and it can also reduce our ability to reason and have effective logic, and obviously impairs our memory. The next one is the lack of getting your body moving can cause muscles to tense up, shoulders, necks especially. Exercise is known to leave you more relaxed and energetic. I know that seems ironic, but it is true. After a little while, if you're sitting at a desk for a long time, whether you're studying or whether that is your job, you need to get up and get your body moving. Okay. Your environment can also be something that affects your focus. So a lot of the time this can be related to noise level, but because some people find it quite hard to concentrate with noise around them, but a lot of the time it's more the type of noise than it is so much the level. So often you can find yourself in a room full of people chitter-chatting. A lot of people might even sit and work in a cafe. You often see that. Because that background noise actually helps them concentrate. So it's not necessarily the level of noise, but it is more about the type of noise. Also, a room that is either too hot or too cold, that can affect our concentration. So if it's too hot, we often find ourselves getting really lethargic and tired. And too cold, we're too busy shivering, and our body is too much in protection mode to be concentrating. So some of the conditions related to whether or not you can actually concentrate. Frequently, we can't concentrate our thoughts and we're experiencing ongoing difficulties. These can be cognitive, medical, psychological, lifestyle or environmental, as we've discussed a few of those. So depending on the cause of your inability to concentrate, you might have to temporarily accept that you do suffer from a low concentration, depending on what it is, and just learn a few tricks to reduce the impact, and just have a little bit more acceptance about that and not let it overwhelm you. So when it comes to cognitive, we're really talking about forgetting things easily, an overactive mind, intruding thoughts. So often your concentration may decrease if you find yourself forgetting things easily. Your memory seems to be failing you. Another way of concentration is impairing, is that you're constantly, a lot of people have a really overactive mind. They're overthinking things constantly, and they're multitasking their thoughts. They're thinking of multiple things at any given time. So when you can't concentrate thoughts on specific things, and big thoughts, are quite intruding into your mind, it's really demanding of your attention, because your thoughts are everywhere, and it really does prevent your level of being able to concentrate. The next one we've got is psychological. So this is really down to things like if you're depressed or feeling down and recovering from a loss, whether that be a death in the family or a loss, even, you know, if you lose your job, you go through a level of grieving, even when you leave a job, if you've been there for a long time. So loss doesn't necessarily mean to a loss of a person, but definitely just any sort of loss, because loss does involve some sort of grief. A lot of time we experience anxiety around these things too. So when you're recovering from a loss or you're experiencing anxiety, you have trouble focusing on any single thought. And I think that's a tricky one too. Our mind just is everywhere, and it really does impair our concentration. So the medical one is more about if these are things you obviously have to see your GP with. I am not a medical practitioner, so this is just the research that I've found. The medical conditions like diabetes or hormone imbalances, low red blood count can really affect your concentration. Also, some medications will make you drowsy and impair your concentration. So that's really something that you need to see your GP about and help you get on track there. When it comes to the environment, we're talking about working conditions. So poor working conditions, potentially shared spaces. Sometimes these can have quite intense or even negative dynamics. They may also contribute to a lack of concentration if you've got some negativity around your quite an intense space. Another thing is increased burnout or stress in your personal life. You will often find it difficult to concentrate due to emotional exhaustion. Similarly, the environment can create, as we've spoken before, discomfort in your body that affects that you mightn't be aware of, like, you know, being too hot or cold, light, noise, all those sorts of things can impair your concentration. So the last one I've got here is lifestyle. So things like fatigue, which we've spoken about, getting enough sleep, hunger, dehydration, can all derail our concentration. So lifestyle is more about making sure you're not missing meals, not too many rich foods. Excessive alcohol consumption can really challenge your memory and ability to concentrate. And just really looking after yourself from a lifestyle perspective. So for those of you who are on Facebook, what I've got here is an image, and it's really about being able to sustain your drive and keep your motivation. If that's something you are struggling with, whoever's watching this, please reach out and I can absolutely help you with this. Okay, so now we're up to some tips on how to improve your concentration. So the first one I've got here is eliminate distractions as best you can. So block out a time into your schedule, turn off your social media outlets, put up a do not disturb sign in your office or wherever you might be working, or make family aware that, okay, I need some time out. This is what I'm doing. Please don't disturb me. Because research has proven that your cognitive capacity is significantly better when you're not being overly distracted. And also being able to, like, if you're doing something and you're at work and you cannot actually see your phone, they reckon that improves it too. So even by just having your phone beside you, they're suggesting that your cognitive capacity is significantly lower, which is quite interesting. The next one is reduce multitasking. Now, especially from the women who are watching this, we are forever multitasking. We are doing 10 things at once. I don't know why we do it, but we do it. But ultimately, it does compromise our quality of work, and our productivity is actually lower. Sometimes it makes us feel productive, but it's actually, it lowers our focus. It causes poor concentration, and it really does compromise the quality of work and the productivity. And when you're constantly running around doing so many things all at once, you can get quite overwhelmed and burnt out. So I think for especially all us women out there, it's really important that we go about trying to focus on getting one job done at a time, because you will find that you get it done quicker, which is not always easy, because for some reason we are ingrained to multitask. But it's just a pattern, and patterns can change. Our brains are forever changing, and you can change that pattern. The next one I've got is get more sleep. So there are many factors that affect our sleep, and one of the most common one is our electronic devices. So here we go again with the media outlets, the computer, the phone, the tablet, the watching TVs in our bedrooms, all these things while we're lying in bed or just before bedtime. And it does have a lot to do with the light that is emitted into our retinas. It stimulates and the eye retina and prevents the secretion of melatonin. And melatonin is the hormone that promotes sleep anticipation for the brain. So by doing that just before you're going to sleep, you're actually wakening yourself up. You're reducing your body's ability to produce a hormone that does help you sleep. So I think that's pretty important that people have that understanding. Another way to improve your sleep is to avoid exercise late in the days, making sure you're staying hydrated. A lot of the time, a lot of people will journal before they go to sleep, or they'll read. They might do some breathing exercises to quieten their mind, and just create more predictable bedtimes and routines around going to sleep. The next one is take short breaks. And I know this can seem counterintuitive, but you will find that when you're focusing on something for a really long period of time, your focus will die down. It is inevitable. So when you feel like your focus is starting to die down, I think the best thing for you to do is take a small break, get up, walk around, move your body. I call it changing your state. So, you can even, I've been known when I'm under the pump to do something to get up and just sort of, do some star jumps and stuff like that, really change the state and your physiology. Don't just get up from sitting down and then go to sit somewhere else. That's not actually going to work. You need to change up what you are doing. A lot of the time, my small breaks will be, I might get up and vacuum the kitchen, or, I'll take the dogs for a walk, for 15, 20 minutes or something like that. So it's really about completely changing what you are doing, not having your phone with you, not having the media with you, and just breaking that concentration. All right, so here we are at the summary. So a quote here from Anthony Robbins: one reason so few of us achieve what we truly want is that we never direct our focus. We never concentrate our power. Most people dabble their way through life, never deciding to master anything in particular. So I think that's pretty cool there, by Anthony Robbins. So focus can only occur when we have said yes to one option and not all other options. In other words, eliminating and really focusing in on something in particular. People don't necessarily have trouble focusing, they have more trouble deciding. And I say that because our daily routine is dominated again by switching out of in and out of computers and mobile phones, or the messages that we get. And so it's really about deciding where you want to place your focus. And again, some tips: eliminating distractions as best you can, reduce your multitasking, or just don't do it if you can possibly. A lot of times we'll multitask doing some things, and sometimes it's okay. But when it's doing something important where you really need to be productive, you really need to focus on one thing at a time. Practice getting more sleep and routines around your sleeping patterns. Take short breaks. And another one here, an extra one, start each morning with some sort of exercise, whether it be walking, and potentially, even if that's just walking up and down your stairs at home. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can be just 5 minutes, but getting up and being able to do that, 5 minutes worth of stretching or some sort of exercise, some sort of body movement, it will really help you through your day and produce the hormones the body needs to help you get through the day. All right, so we're at the end here. Thank you everyone who jumped online and watched this webinar. How is your focus and what have you been focusing on? I will be sending this out to all those who registered via email. You can also find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and I am now on Anchor and Spotify. I have a podcast called Empowering Ordinary Women's Podcast, streaming live. So do check that out. There will be some interviews there with fellow life coaches around certain topics. You can also come over to my Facebook group, Organisational Secrets for Empowered Women. Would love to have you all there. That's where I share more content and more lives. So my next live, speaking of, will be on the 18th of February, and it will be about sustaining your drive and motivation. So the webinars are live on Fridays at 9 a.m. Follow the link in the comments to register. Thank you all again, and good morning. This is Jodie Siemens from Taking Perspective.